Chasing ideals will leave you tormented. When I was younger, I used to cling on to an ideal world, an ideal scenario, an ideal way of living. And as I got older, I got shot down by everybody. You know? It's like when you're somebody that has no power, people it's like they don't care. When you haven't overcome, when you haven't done anything to bring yourself out the mud, people will force you in it and not even push you down, but well, yes, they will push you down, but it's like everything will not go your way when you don't have power. And obviously, as a Christian, I'm not telling you to become a power hungry fucking psycho, but even in allowing Christ through the Holy Spirit to work through you, that is a power, and is the greatest blessing any human can have is the Holy Spirit, and to have salvation. When I got older, and before Christ and stuff like that, but I did get a sense of power. And even though I didn't try to abuse my power, or I wasn't using my power to become evil, I thought maybe with that power I can be an ideal or chase an ideal. And as I'm starting to get older, I'm kind of realizing that, and a lot of people do realize this, but chasing ideals will get you tormented. And I kind of realized just how much of life is depending on how much power you have. And not just, spiritual power, but also like physical power and psychological power, and the whole 9 yards. And a lot, like, I always had this thing where I always wanted to help people and kind of nitpick who they are, not in a negative sense, but it's like I could see ways on how they can become better. And my whole thing, I don't know if it's genetic or just circumstances or who I want to be in life. It could be a whole mixture, but I'm always wanting to get better. And in every aspect. Now, obviously, I don't know when this will get posted, but I've become detached from a lot of things. So it's like I'm not in a rush to be perfect. I'm not in a rush to be the man I want to be. And I think this has come from a mixture of things, but I think one of the aspects of why I'm like that is because I've kind of, it's not that I've given up on ideals, because every man is chasing something. Every man is chasing something. And every man, people have this thing of hope. I think hope is like a drug to people. And I find myself wanting to attach to hope, but not in a way where it's like a lifeline. It's in a way where I know hope will come. And especially, I think a lot of people get into religion, right, for the wrong reasons. Or they do it because life is suffering and they need something to cling on to. And, I'm not opposing to that, because I know the one and true religion is Christianity, and it is with Jesus Christ. So it's like, the more I learn about the Lord, it's like the more I'm learning that, like, how much we need him and how much we're designed to want him, but it can be, we fall short, and there's, many distractions in life that keep us from that. But I'm kind of realizing now, with becoming detached with almost everything, that I was chasing an ideal and something. And I do believe in miracles because obviously God is real and God can do anything. But I'm also forcing myself to be more realistic in how life plays out and how life is. And I want this video to be kind of like a wake-up call for a lot of people, that even though I do believe that every man should be chasing an ideal, to not be concerned with the wrong type of ideals, or to not be concerned with everybody else version of what they think is an ideal. And obviously this can be turned into a very bad thing, because if people are not under the fear or the love of Christ, this can turn really bad, right? We see this with, Hitler, with eugenics and the Aryan race and all that, or, just demonic stuff. But I've accepted that life is life. And as much as some days I suffer from life, and it's not really external things, it's more just internally accepting that some things are the way they are, and me being stubborn about it. I think when I was younger, I chased ideals a lot, because I had this thing that, hope is real. And the thing is, hope is real. Hope is, if you don't have faith, you won't be saved. So it's not, I'm not here to kill your faith. Actually, I think faith is the one thing that will change the world, and it's your ticket to heaven, so you better have it, right? But I think chasing idealism is something that I think a lot of people, and I think myself included, we're being forced to recognize this. And, chasing ideals had me tormented, because I was trying to change something into... The thing is that it wasn't always what I wanted to be, because everybody wants to be, fucking Mr. Millionaire, Mr. Good Looking, Mr. Bitches, Mr. That, Mr. Everybody has an idealized version of the world to them. But the thing is that sometimes, or the most biggest ideals weren't really for me. It was for how the world should be. And because I had power, and because I attained more power as I got older, I thought that I had the power to change how the world is, or my power would be enough. And the thing is, every time I say a sentence like this, I always have to talk about Christ, because Christ has that power. And I do believe through the Holy Spirit and through relationship with God, you can change a lot. Like, that is the one thing that I'll never ever let go, and I'll never ever instill that you don't have power in that sense, because Jesus is real. And a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're coping." Well, the thing is like, you could say religion is a cope, you can say trusting in God is a cope, but one day, hopefully, if God, hopefully, right, you're gonna realize that God is actually real. So it's like, it's not cope, because it's like, he's real, But I find myself in this process of letting go of almost everything. And the result of that is there's going to be a couple areas that are going to be suffering. And this is subjective because most people are going to suffer for a bunch of other stuff. Maybe even more than me, maybe even less than me. And so I kind of realized just to let go and chase my version of ideal, because again, you need something to be striving to each and every day, but to let go of the process and to let go of others, not in a sense of where you only care about yourself, but just realizing that people are going to do what they're going to do, and that nobody can be ideal 100%. And so when you interact with others with this in mind, you kind of don't view them as not human, but you don't view them as humans or as a person. You view them as a system of what they were designed to be or their experiences. And so it's like, you know, it's, if you want to put it in a Christian way, it's like you view them as a sinner, because most people, you know, aren't saved, or most people don't know anything about the Lord, but you view them as how their sin nature is making them be. And there's kind of a freedom, but also a kind of, not emptiness about it, but it's just like, it makes the world 10 times more quiet. And it makes you realize that, like, it's just you. Like, it's not like like, I don't know how to explain it. It's not like you're the only person living in the world, but it's just like, you realize that it just, like, you only have you. You know? Like, my life over the past years has just been me and God. Like, there's no one really around me. And life gets very quiet when it's like that. So this video, I mean, this has been like the video, but what I'm trying to get towards you, or what I want you to understand, is that you shouldn't be chasing ideals. Technically, it's like you should have an ideal to strive to each and every day, to wake up in the morning, but your ideal doesn't have to be something, it doesn't have to be big or small. It could just be your ideal. Of a lot of people, if your ideal is just to wake up, go to work, get your money, and then come back home and chill, relax, okay. If your ideal is just to follow God as much as you can, all right. But in terms of like changing the world or changing the way how things should be, you know, especially if you're somebody like me where you're very stubborn and it's like you believe in the good, you're just like, this is how things, you know, trying to change circumstances, I think you should let that go, because it's only going to leave you more tormented and leave you more, like, if you do that, the only thing you're going to get is either anger, if you let that control you, or sadness, if you let that control you, or the third thing, which is, you know, if you don't let your emotions control you, you're just going to get a realization. And it's gonna come at the cost of not being one with anything. But anyways, guys, this has been the Los channel, and I catch you on the next one.